Over the last 4 decades, emergency has not only become a symbol of state oppression, politicians have used it to brand governments authoritarian. The Narendra Modi government has been a regular punching bag. Several leaders have criticized the Modi government as authoritarian. Some have even equated it to the emergency period. Mamata Banerjee spoke about looking at history to see what an emergency can unleash on a country. And taking her advice, we delved into history and guess what we found? Mamata Banerjee is talking about a super emergency today. What was Mamata Banerjee doing during the actual emergency? In the 1970s, Mamata Banerjee was a firebrand Congress leader. She was supporting the emergency then. In fact, she was not just a supporter, she was a star supporter of that emergency. When Jayaprakash Narayan visited Kolkata to organize protests against the emergency, Mamata Banerjee blocked his path. She even climbed on the bonnet of his car. So much for history. And now for what emergency entails. An internal emergency allows the Prime Minister to rule by decree, to suspend civil liberties, to suspend elections. During those 20-odd months between 1975 and 1977, elections did not happen in India. Not just that, elected state governments were dismissed across the country. Leaders like George Fernandez and M.K. Stalin were manhandled in jail. Now, the most important institution in a representative democracy is the Election Commission. Perhaps Mamata Banerjee found nothing wrong in the attack on democratic institutions during Indira Gandhi's time back in 1975. But she sees some glaring lapses now, which is why she says today's situation amounts to a super emergency. And it's not just Mamata Banerjee. The emergency syndrome seems to affect most political parties in India. The Communist Party of India, for one, calls the government authoritarian, and they have every right to do so. But when civil liberties were crushed during emergency, the CPI sided with Indira Gandhi. Among the left parties, only the current day CPIM supported Jayaprakash Narayan. Everyone else was with Mrs. Gandhi. Similarly, while the Janasangh, which later evolved into the BJP, opposed the emergency, another right-wing party, Shiv Sena, supported the emergency. Which is fine. Politicians have a short memory. Their fortunes have changed, but public memory should not be short in a democracy, and so we're jogging the public memory today. Mamata Banerjee can call the government all that she wants to. But to use the emergency narrative to attack the government is the height of double standards. By the way, the opposition parties in West Bengal today are calling Mamata Banerjee's regime authoritarian. Violence in West Bengal politics has become the norm, be it local body elections, assembly elections or the Lok Sabha polls. Attacks on political workers seem to be par for the course. What is an emergency then, we ask?